Okay, welcome C9 followers, and a special welcome to Australian business owners and C-level executives tuning in. This is the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here. Today, we're really getting into a technology that's genuinely reshaping how businesses operate, not just overseas, but right here in Australia.
Exactly. We're your guides from the C9 team for this exploration. We've been, well, wading through quite a bit of material.
Yeah, fair stack. Detailed notes, briefing documents, info from the C9 website, too. And our goal today, our mission for this deep dive, is really to pull out the most important bits for you.
Specifically for you, our Australian business leaders. We want to help cut through the jargon,
And really get to grips with Robotic Process Automation, RPA. What actually is it? What are the real benefits?
How do you actually implement it? And maybe most importantly, why is it so relevant for businesses like yours right now here in Australia?
And look, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, another tech thing, why should I care today? Well, the sources we looked at are pretty clear.
They really are. This isn't just hype. It's positioned as a genuine game changer.
Yeah, we're talking serious boost to efficiency, bringing costs down, and, getting that competitive edge, which, let's face it, is crucial in today's fast-moving digital world.
All right, then, let's unpack this properly.
Okay, so starting right at the beginning, what exactly is RPA?
Yeah, let's strip it back. The core idea from what we read is it's about using software robots, they often call them bots, to automate tasks.
But not just any tasks, specifically those repetitive rule-based ones. And the key thing is how they do it by mimicking human actions.
That mimicking part is quite something, isn't it? The docs explain these bots actually interact with digital systems in the same way a human would.
Using a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they see the screen, they know where to click, what to type.
They complete keystrokes, navigate systems, perform these defined actions. Almost like a digital employee following a very strict script.
Exactly. And important to clarify, we're talking software here, not, physical robots walking around. It's software operating inside your existing computer systems.
And the range of tasks mentioned in the sources is pretty broad.
Oh, definitely. Things like data entry, the classic example, but also processing orders, handling standard customer service queries, account reconciliation.
Reporting, financial transactions, even some IT support tasks or HR processes like onboarding, basically anything digital, repetitive, and rule-driven.
And a key point is its versatility.
Yeah.
The sources stress it works well even with older legacy systems.
Right, or things like VDIs, virtual desktop infrastructures, or just accessing different databases. It doesn't necessarily need brand new integrated systems to function.
Which is a huge advantage. You don't always need a massive IT overhaul to get started with RPA.
And that flexibility connects directly to maybe the biggest initial benefit highlighted everywhere.
Which is?
Freeing up your people.
Yep.
Taking these routine digital tasks off their plate so they can focus on, more valuable stuff.
More strategic work, creative problem solving, things that actually need human intelligence and judgment. You're letting the bots be the robots, essentially.
Okay, so freeing up time is a clear win. But let's dive deeper into those other powerful benefits the sources outlined, the ones that really impact the business.
Yeah, let's do that. Because they are quite compelling when you lay them out. First up, increased efficiency and productivity. That's almost always mentioned first.
Makes sense. Bots work faster than humans for these tasks, right?
Much faster. And they don't need coffee breaks or sleep. They can operate 24/7 consistently, so processing times can drop dramatically.
And faster processing, more throughput. That must link to costs.
Directly. That's the next big one. Reduced costs. You're automating tasks that take up human hours. Plus, you're reducing errors. The sources mention bots performing tasks with 0 errors if the rules are clear.
0 errors is a bold claim, but for purely rule-based stuff, I guess it's possible.
For the defined process, yeah. And fewer errors mean less rework, lower operational costs. One phrase I saw was, optimize your budget and boost your bottom line. Pretty direct financial link there.
That accuracy point is interesting. The documents talk about pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, and how it cuts down on errors from, human fatigue, simple oversight, or just lack of attention during repetitive work. We all make mistakes. Bots programmed correctly don't.
Which improves data quality, reliability.
Yes.
It all cascades, doesn't it?
It does. And then there's compliance. That's huge, especially here in Australia.
How does RPA help with compliance?
By ensuring consistency. The bot follows the exact same steps according to the rules every single time. This really helps adhere to regulations and standards.
And the sources mention specific relevance to Australian regulations.
They did. Plus, the fact that every bot action is logged creates a really clear audit trail. That's invaluable for demonstrating compliance.
Okay, efficiency, cost, accuracy, compliance. What else? Scalability?
Yes, scalability and flexibility. Think about busy periods. Hiring and training temp staff takes time and money.
Right.
With RPA, you can often scale up the number of bots or their processing capacity much, much faster to handle peaks in demand. It lets your operations grow with your company, as the material put it.
Without necessarily adding headcount for those routine tasks.
Precisely. And remember that point about integration.
Seamless integration, yeah. Without huge IT overhauls.
That's a massive practical advantage. It means faster deployment, less disruption, and you often avoid costly system replacements just to enable automation.
So all these internal improvements, faster processing, fewer errors, they must impact the customer eventually.
Absolutely. It leads to an improved customer experience, faster response times, fewer mistakes in their orders or accounts. It all adds up.
Which leads to better customer service and hopefully higher satisfaction. Makes sense.
It's that link between optimizing the back office to improve the front office experience.
Okay, so we know what RPA is, and the benefits are clear. But who actually builds these bots? The sources mention the RPA developer.
Right, described as a crucial cross-functional professional. These are the tech experts who make it happen.
Their job involves what exactly? Designing and coding.
Yep, developing and implementing software robots. So designing the automation logic, writing the code, but also really rigorous testing and troubleshooting.
Making sure it works reliably.
Under all sorts of conditions, yeah. Then deploying it and monitoring its performance once it's live. It's quite an end-to-end role.
And the skills needed to sound like a mix of tech and business understanding.
Very much so. The sources list things like a strong background in business analysis, good problem-solving skills, obviously, effective communication abilities.
Communication is key, I imagine, working with different teams.
Crucial. And a solid understanding of UX principles, user experience, plus the tech skills.
Yeah.
Proficiency in programming languages, RPA tools, cloud technology.
They don't work in isolation, do they?
No, not at all. The descriptions highlight collaboration, working closely with business analysts, with management on strategy, and really importantly, with the end users.
The people currently doing the task.
Exactly. To properly understand the process nuances and gather all the requirements, you need that ground-level input.
So these developers are the ones who translate your business needs into these automated solutions.
That's the idea. They bridge that gap.
Okay, so let's say a business leader listening is thinking, right, this sounds promising. How do we actually do it? The sources laid out a structured process, didn't they? Specifically C9's approach.
They did. It provides a pretty clear roadmap, which is helpful. It typically starts with assessment.
Which is about?
Really digging into your specific business, analyzing workflows, identifying tasks that are good candidates for automation, understanding your objectives, finding the pain points RPA could solve.
So figuring out where to apply it first.
Exactly. Then comes process mapping. Once you've identified a process, you need to document it meticulously.
Flowcharts, step-by-step guides.
Yeah, creating the detailed blueprint the bot will follow. Accuracy here is critical.
Because the bot will just do what it's told.
Precisely. After mapping, there's often a proof of concept, or POC.
A small test run.
Exactly. You don't usually jump straight into automating everything. You pick a specific process, maybe one with high impact, build a small-scale automation.
And see if it works and delivers value.
Yeah, demonstrate the viability and the potential ROI for your business before you commit more resources.
Sensible. If the POC looks good, then what?
Then you move into the main RPA design and development. This is where the full workflows are designed and the bots are programmed based on those maps.
Ensuring they work with your systems.
That's a key focus, yes. Making sure they integrate smoothly. After the build comes integration and testing.
Getting the bots into the actual work environment.
Or a test environment that mirrors it. And testing everything thoroughly. Functionality, performance, security, how it handles errors, testing against real scenarios.
Got to iron out the kinks.
Definitely. Then, assuming testing is successful, you go to deployment and optimization.
Going live?
Usually in phases to manage the change. And once live, it's about monitoring performance, fine-tuning based on real data, and importantly, feedback from your team.
It's not just set and forget then.
Not at all. Which leads to monitoring and maintenance. continuous tracking, applying updates, security patches, making sure it keeps running reliably, you typically get dashboards or reports for oversight.
And what about the people? The staff?
Crucial point. Training and user support is vital. You need to train your staff on how the bots work, how their roles might change, how to handle exceptions, and provide ongoing support.
Managing the human side of the change.
Absolutely. And finally, the process emphasizes continuous improvement.
Looking for more opportunities.
Yeah, periodically reviewing how the automation is working, gathering feedback, and identifying maybe new processes in your business that could benefit from automation, or ways to enhance the existing bots.
It sounds quite thorough. The sources describe C9's approach as pragmatic.
Yes, pragmatic, focused on delivering tangible results and ensuring a smooth transition that fits with your business objectives and, importantly, your culture. Real-world outcomes are the goal.
Now, something that came up strongly in the material was security and governance. You can't ignore that.
Absolutely not. It was flagged as paramount. And rightly so when you're giving software access to your systems and data.
So what does that involve, practically?
Several things. Robust data security measures, obviously. Protecting the information the bots access and process.
Access controls.
Definitely. Establishing strict access controls who can manage the bots, change their programming, view the data they handle, and maintaining those detailed audit trails we mentioned earlier is key for security, too.
For tracking everything.
Everything. Plus, ensuring compliance with all relevant regulations, which is critical here in Australia.
And governance. That sounds more organizational.
It is. It's about having proper governance set up. That means clearly defined roles and responsibilities within your company for managing the RPA program. Who owns it? Who's responsible for updates, security, monitoring?
Having clear lines of responsibility.
Exactly. And like any software, regular maintenance and updates are non-negotiable for security and reliability. Patches, platform updates, it has to be maintained.
So getting all that right ensures your automation is secure, reliable, compliant. It manages the risk.
Precisely. It's foundational.
Okay, looking slightly ahead now. The sources also touched on RPA and artificial intelligence, AI. How do they fit together?
Yeah, this is really interesting. They're described as complementary technologies, not competing ones.
So they do different things but work well together.
That's the idea. RPA is brilliant for those repetitive rule-based tasks. AI, on the other hand, brings in cognitive abilities.
Well, that is thinking.
Sort of. Things like interpreting unstructured data, reading emails or documents that aren't in a neat format, using machine learning to identify patterns and make predictions, or natural language processing, NLP, to understand human language.
Okay, so AI adds a layer of understanding or judgment.
You could put it that way. And when you combine RPA's execution power with AI's cognitive abilities, sometimes called cognitive automation or intelligent automation.
You can do more complex things.
Exactly. You can automate more complex end-to-end business processes that involve unstructured data or require some level of decision-making that basic RPA can't handle alone.
That sounds powerful.
It really opens up new possibilities. The material noted that C9 developers have experience with these AI techs too, enabling them to build these more advanced solutions for you. It's driving further innovation.
Right. So bringing this all together as we wrap up this deep dive, the core message seems pretty clear.
Yeah, RPA offers real, tangible benefits. We're talking efficiency, cost savings, accuracy gains, all by automating those repetitive digital tasks.
And crucially, freeing up your people, your human employees, for more strategic, creative, high-value work.
Absolutely. And there's a clear, structured path to implementation, like the process C9 follows, with a non-negotiable focus on security and governance.
Plus that exciting future potential when you combine RPA with AI.
Definitely. For Australian business owners and C-level executives listening, the takeaway seems to be that leveraging RPA is a key strategy.
Not just for small improvements, but for genuinely streamlining operations, boosting the bottom line, and staying competitive in our dynamic Australian market.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider after this discussion.
Go on.
Thinking about the power of RPA to just automate repetition. Where in your business right now could automating even just one key repetitive task unlock the most significant benefit? Maybe it's time saved, costs cut, or just getting something right every single time.
Or, thinking even bigger, how might that combination of RPA and AI start to fundamentally change what work even looks like in your industry over the next few years?
Food for thought. And if you're past the thinking stage and want to explore how this technology could specifically help your business,
The sources point towards C9, described as Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
That's right. You can check out their website, www.c9.com.
On the website, you can find out more about their services, and as the material mentioned, you can schedule a free consultation to talk about your specific needs.
A good starting point if you're serious about exploring RPA.
Definitely. And finally, if you found this deep dive useful, please do click that follow button wherever you're listening. That way you won't miss our future explorations.
And maybe share this with colleagues or others in your network who you think could benefit from understanding RPA a bit better.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.